Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Just thought I'd decide to just take a walk, for the first time here in New York City. I'm getting some sun, so I'm just want to take in some sun real quick. And, it's a little cold. It's going to shift about 40, so for the first time, we got 40 degrees today. And we've been hitting the teens and single digits for the last couple of weeks, man. So it's like we got a break. But yeah, when you're living in the north, man, that's what happens. So I'm just trying to speak on some things today, though. Some things that I've been noticing just, with how the world is working, how society is going, Like I love what I do, as far as, fitness, health, I love sports, I haven't been watching it lately because I've been focusing on my projects, but definitely my 49ers is getting in there. We hurt though. We hurt a little bit. We are hurt a little bit, but we getting it done. We getting it done, and that's what I love about it. So the thing with my 49ers is though, I don't know how long that we can last with all those injuries, man. Oh man, I've been a 49er fan for a minute, since like the mid to late 80s. So yeah, the Joe Montanas, the Steve Youngs, Jerry Rice, Tom Rathman, John Taylor, all those good guys, So right now in the sports world, it's looking kind of good in football for me, but I don't know how long the 49ers are going to last, but I'm definitely gunning for them. But also in the sports world, my Knicks, well, they won the NBA Cup, Of course, being in New York, I know you probably guys are thinking like, how are you a 49er fan and a New York Knicks fan? That's weird, right? Yeah, of course it's weird, because back in those days when I became a fan of the 49ers, they were the top team in the league, They were the 80s, man. I'm telling my age here. But they were the top team in the league, man, and it's a fun offense to watch. The defense was crazy. So, and I don't know, it just ignited me. Giants wasn't doing too much. I guess they had their Super Bowl and things of that nature going, but I think it was like 86, But I don't know, man, it was just something fun about the 49ers and how they played during that time. So that's how I became a fan. I was young, man. I didn't really know what the hell I was doing, but it stuck. Being a Knicks fan was great. I didn't really watch basketball until like the end of the year, the end of the decade of the 80s. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. Basketball wasn't a thing for me until the late 80s. When I saw the Pistons doing their thing, and then, they were the bad boys. And then this man coming out of North Carolina, Michael Jordan, he was flying all over the place, doing things I ain't never seen before. So I was like, well, let me see what New York got. So I got into the New York Knicks and started watching them. And that was like right around the 90s. I really started paying attention. And then Pat Riley from the Lakers came and I got super excited. And, for all you Knicks fans out there, you already know what was going on. That defense and grit and grime, John Stark, Anthony Mason, them guys, it was tough, man. It was killing, man. So I love those times, man. So that's how I just became a Knicks fan, and I just stuck. I've never really been an individual player fan. I know that's going on today, and it's fine. I mean, it's all good. I've been always like a team fan, so that's why I kind of never really left any of my teams, switched over like, some people are doing. But yeah, so so in the sports world, the Knicks are doing okay. Had a little rough patch going on. This is just my takes on it. I think we're going to be fine. I think when you're playing in a season in professional sports or just in any sport, organized sport, in a season, you're going to have your ups and downs. We started off good for the first time in a minute. And then we, kind of hit a wall right after the cup. And psychologically, I could understand because, right after the Knicks won the cup, what we were doing was we were playing like back-to-back games. And this is no excuses because I know they're professionals and stuff. But listen, guys, when you're traveling on a plane from city to city every other day, like you play a game on Wednesday, you travel on Thursday, and then you show up on Friday and your game is at 7 o'clock, you don't really get to practice, you're probably jet lagged because of the time zones. I mean, guys, you got to consider those things when these players are playing. I don't care how many times you do it. you're gonna get tired. And they had a couple of back-to-backs after that cup, and after winning the NBA Cup, and then they went on I think to the West Coast for a cup for like 2 or 3 games, came back home, lost, and then that's when that slide started to happen. So I was looking at it and just thinking to myself, like, I know where they're at. I think I've watched enough sports to understand that in the middle of the season, injuries happen sometimes, and that's unfortunate. I hope, Josh Hart gets healthy soon. He should be back soon, and then you get fatigued sometimes. Sometimes it's not in your body. Sometimes it's your brain. You get mental fatigue. And that's another big thing. So for me, I was looking at it and I was like, man, they all right, man. I know a lot of Knicks fans out there are like, yo, you see me losing. Guys, we're going to lose a game, man. It's 82-game season. Like, come on. Like, it's a grind, guys. So we got to understand, we just can't win every game or beat teams that we're supposed to beat. No, we're going to lose sometimes. And that's good because it builds sometimes camaraderie with the team. Sometimes if the team is slipping, they have team meetings, and hey, guys, we got to pull it together. So I like what they did last night to the Clippers, because the Clippers are okay, but if you don't come correct, they're going to beat you. So I like what happened last night watching the Knicks game, and that was pretty cool, stuff like that. So that's so far for sports, basketball and football. That's kind of what I really watch. But just to kind of introduce you guys to what's going on. Yeah, right now it's the popular sports that's in season, but those are 2 of my favorite, But yeah, so I haven't been consuming a lot of sports lately because I've been busy on my projects, trying to get businesses going and flowing, which are doing very well. So I like that part of it. And what I'm doing is, of course, health and fitness. For people who have been watching my content for quite a bit of while. Yeah, I haven't posted in a while too, but trust me, I've been working. And yeah, so I've been trying to reach some sort of level playing field when it comes to health and fitness. Listen, I'm not trying to crack no codes, man, and I am not trying to break any rules. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to make what's already done and said just a little bit more simpler. So it's easy for a person to, let's just say, put together, an exercise and try to eat at the right time of the day and things of that nature. Because guys, listen, as we are getting older, we have to start to get more organized. And that was one of the things I had to start doing, being more organized in the things that I do, the things that I say, and executing it too. I mean, that's a big thing for me, so that's why I was just basically, off social media for a while. I've been posting things here and there just to kind of keep, you guys, information flowing, but I've been trying to strategize and trying to get some things together when it comes to health and fit, and I got it done. Took a little while, but but I got it done. So that's on the health and fitness side. And one thing you probably guys don't know about me, or maybe some that know me for a little while, but I'm a big movie buff, huge movie buff. So those who are like the MCU fans, love the MCU. Been watching them movies over and over and over again. They got a whole bunch of them now, so that's kind of crazy. But they've been watching they've been making a bunch of Marvel movies. There's like 30, 40 of them now. They got some new stuff coming out this year. That Avengers Doomsday looking dope. Captain Marvel's back, man. And even saying that Iron Man is back, I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? So that was dope. And so I love my Marvel movies. I like old school movies, like in the 80s, like Planes, Trains, Automobiles, Stripes. That's a little raunchy, so girls, don't sit down with your kids and watch that movie. Stripes with Bill Murray. Nah, don't do that. A little raunchy movie, but it was funny. But I like a lot of the 80s movies, 90s movies. Let me know down in the comments, what are your favorite movies, from back in the days that you can't stop watching, or when it comes on TV, you actually watch it. I think my favorite movie of all time is It's this movie. Every time I've told somebody this movie, right? I've never had anyone tell me this movie sucked or nah, I didn't particularly care for it. The name of this movie is, drum roll, is The Count of Monte Cristo. I mean, this movie has everything. I mean, everything from like revenge to calculated strategic moves, just how to understand life. You know, do you get back at someone who did you wrong? Or allow that person that probably backstabbed you or did you wrong to fuel you to make you a better person. Love that movie, man. It's I hope they don't ever remake it. It came, the one I did was the one with Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce. I believe that's his name. I think it was like in 2003. And of course, cinematography back then was better than the original one that came out, I think maybe the 40s or 50s. So I love that movie. That's my favorite movie of all time. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was just one of those things that made me realize that, you know, even though like people in life are going to do you wrong, you know, instead of physically trying to harm them on the get back, you know, you want to try to level up and do things for yourself. You know, let that fuel you, you know, to get you, you know, where you need to be in life. So it's a really, really good thing. Count of Monte Cristo, guys. You know, hit me up in the comments about that and let me know, you know, how that movie is. It's a great movie. You know, still stands true to this day when it comes to stories, and it still stands true to this day when it comes to how you're supposed to move in life. You know, I'm going to make sure I don't get hit by a car here. So that's the thing that I like about that movie, because that's my favorite. My favorite TV shows, I got a couple of them. Well, The Honeymooners. I used to watch that back in the days, man. Oh, I remember I used to play football, come home from high school, right? Mom Dukes used to leave some money on the table because she was at work. She went to work. She was at work all day. Leave money on the table. And I used to get Domino's pizza, bacon and pineapple. Don't judge me, guys. Don't judge me. Man, I would sit there, watch the Knicks game, and then like right at 11 o'clock, you know, 11:30 to 12, I would sit there and watch Honeymooners. And I don't know, man, I just got hooked on it. I mean, it was just so funny. You know, I mean, you got to have a sense of humor, you know, for that kind of show, because it was old, black and white. And these are the Honeymooners, the lost episodes. I think that was the last series Jackie Gleason did. So it was a great, great show. And I always watch it. Sometimes I fall asleep watching it. Moving forward, well, some of my favorite shows, because the 90s was a hit when it came to comedy and comedy shows, especially black comedy. You know, like Martin, huge for me. That was huge for me, because I was like end of high school, junior, senior year. Once again, telling my age. Shh, don't you tell nobody. But yeah, 90s, Martin. Steve Harvey was okay. I think I understand the humor now. If I watch Steve Harvey, there's a lot of shows that I don't quite understand the humor, because, you know, maybe my age and stuff. I did have a sense of silliness to myself, but certain humor and comedy attracted me. Jamie Foxx show was actually pretty good. Loved that show. You know, but I watch it today, it's even more funny. And along with Steve Harvey, I watched that too. That was even more funny. So those were really good movies that I enjoyed and loved, you know, but I still enjoy to this day. They're classics. So love those types of things. So TV shows was Martin, Jamie Foxx, and Steve Harvey at the time. There were a couple of other ones, like Living Single was good. You know, of course, you know, at that time, you know, a lot of movements was going on, you know, especially like the women's movement. You know, I remembered it clearly, you know, where women just wanted to be more free and be more entrepreneurialistic, man. And I thought that was pretty dope. You know, I know some people probably don't believe that, but hey, listen, man, this world is evolving, man. And this world is changing, like I was saying in the beginning. And, you know, I'm not saying you got to dive in and deep dive and get all wrapped up into it. No, I'm not saying all of that. what I'm saying is you gotta, take on some of these things that are in life, man, because, like this thing with technology is gonna leave you behind, man. You won't be able to do things. You won't be able to, function properly because the things you was doing of old is done. So yeah, you gotta trust me, guys. It's not what you think, but I'm just saying, you don't have to get wrapped up into it so much. But during that women's movement, man, it really helped a lot of females. In today's time, it's probably not going so well, with all that's going on in today's society. But trust me, as a people, we're gonna bounce back. We're gonna be all right. But the cool thing I loved about those times too in the '90s for me, there was a lot going on, man. There was a lot coming out. There was so much stuff coming out that we have never heard of that you couldn't really keep up music wise. Oh, that's a whole nother video. So, but yeah, so those are some of my favorite things that I like to do. Some of the things that I have been doing since I've been off social media, and some of the things that I'm moving into and changing or evolving, or however you want to put it. Some of those things that I'm using now as a tool. So, and this is just a little bit to get to know me as well, what I'm into, what I like, because I love these types of content that when you get to know a person and building a community of people, we can, definitely, make a change within ourselves, and just being around people, that are like-minded, and positive, So, I guess that's it, man. I don't know as if there's anything else I wanted to talk about, because right now I'm just really into health and fitness, sports, which is moving down third on my list right now, because football is ending, NBA is kicking up, so it might move to second. But traveling, yes. Oh, that's another thing that I haven't spoken to you guys about. Traveling. Well, as you guys, some of you guys don't know, some of you guys don't know, I'm a travel agent. Listen, I've been wanting to be a travel agent for a minute, and it wasn't to like book people on trips and things of that nature. It wasn't about that. It was more about getting the perks, man. Come on, guys. Remember I used to work at the store or the convenience store, and you got in there, you wanted to work in that store because you wanted to get a discount on the clothes or the sneakers. Well, that hasn't left. It hasn't changed. And the beautiful thing about it is, being a travel agent, I do get perks, and things of that nature. So that's what I've been doing too as well. Of course, due to circumstances in the early 2020s, things kind of got abrupted, but it's all good. Everything is bounced back. So I'm back on that. But I do love travel, but not as much as what maybe a lot of people may think. I just like to get around and see different things, look at different things. I'm more of a sightseeing kind of person, observant. So that's why, for me, traveling works out for me, because I want to travel to different places and stuff. I think back in 2019, I became a travel agent. Put it out there. I just wanted to see what it was like to book people on trips. Did that, and was very well. Started making some pretty good money off of it. But what it did was it helped finance my trip, because I wanted to go to Colorado, because I was out there a few years prior, at a convention, and I was in Utah, actually, Provo, and it was nice, man. The scenery was nice, man. The air was a little thin. Caught a headache on that. But of course, I realized that it was the reason why I had a headache was the air was thin. But I just loved it, man. It's like the mountain views was crazy. It's like it was in HD. The air was so clear, kind of like how you're looking up at the sky right here. And the beauty thing about it was, I was like, there was something about that area that, for me, I just wanted to visit more. So I was looking at other areas in other states. Utah was one. I'll be going back there. Definitely not when it's cold. Was Colorado. I went to Colorado, visit there, and I'm gonna tell you, man, that was another place that shocked me. Did some research on it, but because of me being a travel agent, it helped pay for my trip to Colorado. And yes, I did use my perks. And yeah, I got a nice deal, rented a car, and I pretty much just drove around just seeing different things, looking at different things. You know, I had a buddy of mine who was showing me around because he found out, that I was coming through. And we went to Pikes Peak and, Garden of the Gods. I mean, these are just different things to do when traveling. And I'm going to be making videos about that as well. But these are just different things to do when you travel versus just always going to the Caribbean and the beach and the hotels and the parties and the drinking and all that. Listen, them days are over for me, man. I mean, I'm not into that stuff anymore. But what I would tell you is exploration, history, those are the things I'm into. And I think when I traveled to Colorado, it opened up my mind to a lot of those things. And man, the air was thin once again, but it was beautiful out there. I was in like September, so it was starting to get cold, but man, that sucker was like 80 degrees out there. So I had fun out there, got some pictures. If I could find them, I'll post them when I was out there. And I truly loved it, man. I truly loved it. And almost to the point where I was like, if I ever come across some chunk, I might even move out there because it's actually pretty dope out there. Once again, it's like a secret place, man. Now they don't want everybody to start moving all at the same time now. Don't be doing all that. Let's go to Colorado. Some of y'all ain't coming anyway. It's too cold, right? But anyway, it's all good. Colorado was great, man. It was just something different, something that I enjoyed, something that, maybe wanted to look into more. I don't know. I guess I had a feeling, something, like the hairs on my back stood up. It wasn't scary. It was just more of like a good feeling, So I don't know, man. We'll see, But other places I like to travel to is just to see. Just want to go out there and check it out, get out of this cold weather. I mean, sometimes, when it gets cold for too long, you want to travel someplace a little warmer just to kind of take a break from the cold. But other places I want to travel is like San Diego, Texas, I want to hit up a few cities in Texas, even like the Alabamas. No, I'm not going no backwoods, but like Alabama, I'm into history. So I wanted to see what's going on, with culture and history that had happened down in the South. I've been to Atlanta like too many times. I'll probably pass through. I got some peoples down there too, but I'll pass through there as well. But even places like Florida, and what's cool? Actually, the United States actually have resorts. So I'm realizing too, I was like, wow, being a travel agent, you get to learn about a lot of different other things that are popping up all over. They have resorts now, and I'm talking about all-inclusive resorts. I remember there was a time you couldn't get all-inclusive in the United States. You had to pay for everything. The only way you was getting that, you was going in the Caribbean, down in Mexico, or the Caribbean islands and things of that nature. So, yeah, for me, I was like, wow. And then a lot of things that are popping up, too, are like villas and not necessarily resorts, but spas. I'm calling them spas, but they're really not. They're just like getaways, we eat some good food, and I'm talking about healthy food. I don't think they even serve meat. I think they're like vegan. I'm not sure. I'm not a vegan though, but it doesn't hurt to go to a place that serves fruits and vegetables and herbs, and you kind of sit and relax in the warmth of whatever area it's in, and you just kind of chill and get away from things, not even look at your phone probably, but just kind of chill and relax. So I've been finding a lot of those places. Now that may not be an interesting thing to you guys, and that's fine, but sometimes if you just need to get a couple of days away and just kind of want to chill, whether it's with, your boo or your spouse, I mean, I think those places are pretty dope, and you don't have to go out of the country to do it. Not to say you shouldn't go out of the country, but sometimes, you want to see what's going on here in your own backyard. So those are the places that I'm looking to see and travel and see what's going on, But there are other places in the United States as well. I mean, you got, the Grand Canyon. I think we all know it's there. We learned it in school. But the Grand Canyon is nice, We got some mounds out there, and I believe it's in St. Louis, or the Cahokia Mountains. It's nice out there. You got Gatlin, Tennessee. Nice little place to go visit, cabin in the woods type of thing. You know, summer, spring or fall or winter. You know, I'm not into skiing, although I did used to do ski trips, and I used to host those things, and man, they were a lot of fun. But I didn't go skiing. That's not my thing. But I had what I did have was a chance to understand what those resorts were about. So if you're into skiing, you know, you can always look it up. But I know black folk don't ski. We just don't. We'd rather go sit in the lodge and get our little drinky drink on, if you know what I'm saying. But it's still a good way to get away, to just kind of chill. But yeah, so I like resorts, but I'm more into like, what else is there? I mean, resorts can't be the only thing, you know. So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for into traveling. I'm just sometimes you just want to get out and go somewhere for a couple of days, and you know, not have to spend a whole lot of money as well, you know. But that's why I got into traveling, for the perks, but also to learn more about it. You know, of course, policies and things change with flights and hotels and stuff. So I got a chance to really learn about that too. But I'll be getting more into that, you know, on the next video. And that's it, guys. I think, man, I'm speaking for about almost 25 minutes. Well, that's just pretty cool. So, but yeah, guys, that's it. I guess so far so good. That's all for today, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.